what I wanted to say about Wicked 100, right? When you look at the way that he operates, and then you look at the way people that are really doing real business operate, you can see the difference in the grind, the hustle, in the business mindset, right? You know, they had the verses on today, yesterday, and, you know, I was playing the verses on the other channel. And when I was listening to Rick Ross and French Montana speak, and, you know, they got albums coming out now, and they still talking about the grind 20 years later of, you know, what Rick Ross did 20 years ago and French Montana grinding and shit, right? You can see the difference in the hustle. And that shit there, like, drives me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I would never look at somebody like Wack100 for motivation. And this is a fact. When I see Wack100 operating and shit like that, like, I really, like, look at that shit like a bottom feeder. You feel me? Because I'm a hustler, and I understand what it is to hustle. You know, even though I'm not at the level where I will be one day, right? I know hustle. And when you watch Wicked 100 operate, you can tell that he doesn't have a hustle. You understand what I'm saying? He's a manipulator. He's a con artist. You know, you're getting people in these contracts, manipulating them, and it's like you can't do it as much as you want to because you've been exposed about it. So you holding on to Blueface because this the last you got. Anybody that really got some shit going on, they not gonna go to no Wicked 100. Somebody that's doing real business gonna grab them up. You know, they're never gonna elevate with him because of the mind frame. You know, and when you watch hustlers, like I said, Rick Ross and French Montana, them niggas is hustling. You can see the drive. Max B just got out a few months ago. Got 2 #1 hits with French Montana. Wicked 100 talked bad about the man, right? Went hard. Made it his business to go hard. But the artists you got don't got no hit. The artists you got a so-called tour set up. And it's like a rookie tour, like some old baby shit. You know what I'm saying? But you can see the business. And this is what I try to, like, break it down to the people. Straight up. It's like he doesn't have the business mind, but he's able to manipulate people that really don't have anything going on. Like the people on Clubhouse, they don't got too much going on. They looking for somebody to look up to. You know, and Wack steps out in front of these people. It makes it look like, you know, he's this guru and he got all this shit going on, but he don't. You know, somebody like myself that I understand because I've always hustled. You know, I've had multiple companies and I've always, like, hustled, grinded. When I look at Wack, I can see he don't have that. You know, because you would see different type of businesses that he owned and you would see the foundation being established. But his concern is Clubhouse. You feel what I'm saying? He has, like, a great deal of concern for Clubhouse and getting people to incriminate themselves over establishing foundation, brick and mortar. Somebody that has, you know, where everybody knows them like Wack, they supposed to be running major shit. But when you hear him, he's only telling us about major shit. You don't see none of that shit. You know, and it's somebody that, you know, people should understand. Wack is somebody that you do not want to look at as an example. You do not want to pay attention to his style of doing things because you will never, ever get anywhere. Look at Blueface. Straight up. You know, if Wack had that business mentality, Blueface would have something to reference to. But he doesn't have anything to reference to. Pay attention to people, you know, that got shit going on. You can see that. You don't see none of that from Wack. None of it. And I'm just being real. You know, now I don't think Clubhouse pays anything. You know, I don't know if they got something going on, but I don't think they pay anything. The guys be over there for free running a narrative for Wack. You know, Wack can talk that shit to the people on Clubhouse to make them believe something. He can't talk that shit to me. And I'm just being real because I see what's going on. You know, we coming from the ground with this shit. You know, people gonna remember DZ going hard in these lives from the bottom. You know, when these lives is out the roof in the near future, people gonna remember DZ was in them lives. No matter how many people we had in the live, that nigga was going hard. Because I can see the shit. You know, this is a hustler. Understanding these hours that I be putting in on here. It's for a reason. But if you let Wack tell you, he'll act like, man, that nigga on there, he ain't got nothing going on. He don't know what he doing. And he'll make you believe something to throw you off of what the game plan really is, so you don't understand it. This is how you grind this shit. I'm sure when like academics and those other people, Vlad and Adam, when they see me in their mind, they can see this shit because they had to start somewhere to get there. You understand what I'm saying? People that grind, they can see this shit. But Wack, he'll convince other niggas, nah, he just doing this, he don't got this. And their minds believe what the niggas say because they think he's really somebody that he's not. So when he get to talking to people, they just believe the shit. Because they think, oh, he got the experience. Hey, listen. Real niggas that get money, they know Wack don't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's different levels of the game of life, whereas though niggas ain't got it like that. Some people be looking like this, but they live above their means. So yeah, they might have made it to a level where they got certain things that they got responsibilities of, but they're just making it to pay those responsibilities. They're not what they're portraying to be. And that's what Wack is. He's acting like he's a millionaire. He's acting like he got this, that, but he's not. You see niggas that got it, they operate totally different. And all you got to do is use your observation. That's all. Use your observation. And the reason why you shouldn't follow niggas like that, because it mentally throws you off from you having the ability to make major moves in your life. Them the niggas like Wack, you do not want to follow nothing they do. Any style. You know, you got people on the internet, right, that look at Wack and they want to follow the nigga style. They don't get nowhere. Straight up. And I'm going to just be real, right? Even Charleston White has the ability to manipulate people on the internet, but he doesn't have a business mind. You don't hear Charleston White talking about investing in anything. You don't hear Charleston White talking about what business he bought, what business he started. The mind frame of these people that they put in front of us, and then you get to looking thinking that they doing something that they not. As much as we see Charleston White, he might tell you some shit about the internet. He might tell you some shit how you should do this with your content and that kind of shit, right? But you don't hear that nigga talking about no real live business that he's establishing. See, Sean Cotton is doing business, right? And he's investing in shit, building shit, doing different shit. Charleston White ain't doing that because all his energy is focused on being negative. This is how the energy of the universe works. When you focus on just destruction, your mind doesn't allow you to program to focus on business in the real elevation, because you just focused on the negative and you want people to look at you. Yeah, you can buy a gold chain. Yeah, you can run around, have some jewelry and talk shit to the people, but your brain don't allow you to focus on the business structure to have elevation, to put shit that's making money for you. The object of grinding is to try to invest in things that's gonna work for you. You putting it out there where it's gonna work for you. These niggas ain't doing that shit. They just on the internet as a character. Straight up. And this is why, you know, the people that are in position and really hustling and grinding and investing, man, they ain't paying no attention to niggas like Wack and Charleston. They not paying no attention to the niggas. See, people like Wack and Charleston should be used if you know how to, you know, articulate things that go on with them. They should be used for you to be noticed. If you got the brain, all right, boom, I'm just using these dudes so that people can understand and know who I am. Yeah, I would never want to follow the steps of them to be noticed, because then you mentally get yourself trapped into the ways of thinking and you're not going to be on business time. Wack and Charleston White think because they get people, you know, to book them, or they might get some contracts with, they think that's business. Nigga, you got to start putting that shit into something when those things don't go well, that you got shit coming back. You got shit where you standing on shit. When you look at Charleston White, the niggas paying rent for a condo. Shit like that. It's the mind frame. This nigga got all this attention, but he ain't thinking about buying the neighborhoods up. He getting paid for certain bookings, and he want to talk shit and flex to the people on the internet that don't have nothing, but he ain't thinking about buying nothing that's going to be there, that's going to make you money, and that you going to have something to fall back on when the interview shit, like, man, I don't even want to hear this nigga no more. You know, like, Wack's game is like fading out. Honestly, that shit fading out. We gonna keep going hard in the paint. And I told y'all it's gonna take some time. You know, it's other people that are talking about him, and that's good. It's gonna take some time, but the game is fading out with the nigga on some real shit. Like, people, everybody know you about to lie. You know what I'm saying? You about to lie. That's all you about to do. You know, when I see Rollo is investing in the shit. He's showing people on some real shit. You know, like when people talk about the character of certain people now and the certain type of like standards, how we supposed to look at people if they told and shit like that. Yeah, you can think about that, but look at the business structure of people. That's what people should be looking at to use it as something to help you elevate. What is this person doing business-wise that I can take something from this to make me elevate in the game? Straight up. Just keeping it a buck. You know, I look at like certain people with the hustle, right? With the YouTube. You know, and I'm going to tell you, like, I don't even watch these people, but the hustle is what got me. Tisa Tales, Anton, and Academics, right? And this is just me keeping it a buck. They have like a drive. They have like a serious drive on the hustle with the YouTube. Whereas though they pumping, you feel what I'm saying? Consistent. And that's what, you know, the kind of shit you want to look at with the hustle. You know what I'm saying? Certain things that you got to pay attention to if you in that certain field with the grind. And it's certain people that you don't want to pay attention to, like Wack. That shit that he do on the internet, starting beef and conflict, he thinks that that's smart. But people like myself understand that you're bringing a certain energy. Now you got people talking about you, yeah, but you ain't got the energy really to put in the business. You want to associate yourself with everybody else's business instead of starting your own shit. You can't focus on your own shit. Because I'm going to tell you like this, and this is no cap. Whenever you start any business, it's going to take 100+% of your time and focus. This is why no business Wack100 starts is ever going to go nowhere, because majority of his time and focus is in the creating confusion, drama, controversy. You can't focus on no damn business doing that. You see how I sit right here all the time and I'm focused. This is my company, right? SBGB TV is a brand, and I'm like locked in on this motherfucker. You know, this is why Wack, no, you don't want to say nothing about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm locked in on this shit because I see something. You know, I do my contracting shit too, but this shit right here, I'm locked because I can smell this shit. And of course, niggas don't want to mention me. Of course, because a nigga can see the hustle and really have like envy towards it. Man, this nigga hustles so hard. Nigga been doing this consistent about 1.5 years. And all we doing is getting the name, getting people to pay attention, grinding. It's all we doing. Listen, that's the game. Once I grab a whole bunch of people and the audience is on a whole nother level, then I got the ability to do this, do that, do this, do that. And a nigga can't stop me because I done built up an audience and a support team that they ain't gonna be able to fuck with. No matter what they say about me, no matter how they feel about me, I done grabbed the audience. See, I understand this shit. I'm a businessman, you know, and I understand that I'm coming from the bottom with this shit. I ain't getting no alley-oop. Nigga ain't giving me no alley-oop. I gotta go in on this shit. I gotta bring it from the mud. I gotta bring this shit like I started from a double up. Straight up. This is what I'm doing. I'm bringing this shit like I started up with a fucking double up. And I don't care what nobody say. Oh, you ain't got this and you ain't got that. You just got this many people watching. I don't care about that. I care about the grind, because I know the grind is going to establish something that they ain't going to be able to take away. I'm building a relationship with the people that rock with me, right? People are rocking with me because of my character, my personality, and how they see, oh, this nigga always here. Consistent. See, I understand business. I understand business. And I understand any business you do, you got to put overdrive in that shit to make it happen. Wicked100 is putting overdrive in disruption. He's putting overdrive in getting indictments. But he ain't putting no overdrive in establishing a brand. No brand that he's associated with, as he calls himself, is big. None of them. 100 ENT, the 100 side, none of that shit. Because he doesn't have that mindset. But he'll talk to the people on Clubhouse and they believe the shit because he's saying something and he knows a celebrity. Man, don't nobody give a fuck about that shit. If you a real business person, I don't care what celebrity the nigga know. I'm looking with my own eyes and I can see from my observation. You can go on the site and tell whoever, whatever you want to tell them. Straight up. You can go tell the niggas on Clubhouse the imaginary shit. They don't understand this. It's the reason why that nigga don't mention me. I'm going to tell you that right now. That nigga I go too hard. You hear me? And I'm live with this shit. I ain't just dropping videos, nigga. I drop them too. But I go live. And nigga you don't want to mention me, nigga. I can go on and speak directly to the people. You can call me. That nigga don't want to fuck with me. Here go tell a nigga some old foo-fafi shit. Oh, that nigga from Virginia. I don't give a fuck what you talking about, nigga. You know my grind is ill. You ain't never seen a nigga go at you and talk about you this way and be on here like this. That nigga ain't never experienced this. That's a fact. And I can bet anything I own on that. See, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission, you know, and I appreciate all the people that rock with me, man. You know, all y'all be solid. You know what I mean? And I know everybody gonna have their own opinion. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. You know, your opinion might be different from mine. Mine might be different from yours. But, you know, we got an opinion. That's what the live call in for. You know, sometimes the call go left. The nigga get to challenge me. You can have an opinion, but you calling to challenge me to try to, like, go at me. That shit's never going to work in nobody's favor ever in life. Not going at me because I could do this shit. But you can have an opinion, and I understand, you know. I'm going to let you go ahead and speak what you saying. Boom, boom, boom. But trying to go at me, it never worked. I'm too fucking smart for that. You know what I mean? I'm too smart. You know what I mean? On some real shit. And, you know, I can smell this shit, though. I ain't even gonna lie. I can smell this shit. I can smell this shit. Yeah, I can smell it. And I always said that about a lot of shit. You know, everything I did. You know what I'm saying? Everything I've done. You know what I'm saying? When I get to talking like this shit right here, and I say I smell this shit, I can smell this shit. Real shit. I can smell this shit. I know the future gonna be crazy. SVGB TV gonna be crazy. You know, they gonna be sick. I'm sure they gonna try everything under the sun You know what I mean? But I think I'm on to their game. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm on to their game, so it's hard for them to get me now. You know what I mean? And I ain't telling nobody what them niggas is doing. You gotta figure that shit out on your own. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. They gotta figure that shit out on their own. So I think I'm on to the game. I'm gonna try to stay focused, locked in. You know what I mean? And, you know, deliver my content the way I deliver the content. You know what I mean? I ain't following nobody else's shit. I mean, because I got to learn by trial and error from everything I do. And that's what's been going on lately. We learning by trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make sure that I see what's going on and I know what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know we on all platforms. So it's certain things that I got to do on other platforms a different way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to learn this shit. You know, we on Facebook. I'm trying to get monetized on Facebook. So I'm uploading content constantly on Facebook. You know, we on TikTok. We on Kick, Twitch. You know what I mean? I got to get back doing the content on Rumble. I fell off on Rumble. We're going to get back on there. I got to get back going hard on Instagram. Y'all understand that I'm trying to go hard on all of them. Listen, we going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate all y'all that be rocking with me. I mean, we're going to be a problem. I know this shit. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can see this shit and they know it. That's why they don't want to mention me. Yeah, academics. I'm sure he sees this shit constantly. And he knows if he mentions SBGB TV, it's going to bump us straight up. He can't do that because it's going to hurt his boy Wack. You know what I'm saying? We got a platform. It ain't like I'm running around the internet without a platform that's already established. You know what I'm saying? We already established and we consistent. If any of them niggas say something about us, no jumper, any one of them niggas, it's going to shoot us up. We on every day. So they going to be mindful because of Wack. You know what I'm saying? Wack go to them platforms and lie and shit. If they was to mention me, right, it would be a problem for Wack because we locked in. It would be a real problem. He know it. I mean, he go to the clubhouse and tell them whatever. I'm smarter than Wack, and that's a fact. You know what I mean? I ain't a snake nigga. Wack is a snake. You know, if you a snake nigga and you deal with somebody that don't like people around them, it's hard for you to snake that nigga. You gotta get next to a person if you a snake, some way, shape, or form to be able to bite them. Snake on the other side ain't no good if they ain't next to you. They gotta get next to you to bite. I ain't letting nobody next to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a mission. This is business. This ain't personal. This is business. You know what I mean? I smell something. You know, everybody come in the game doing different things in life the way they come in the game. I'm coming in the game this way. And that nigga called. You know, he gonna remember that was the worst thing he ever did was call me. He should have never called me. You know, he was cocky. Cocky on the internet, been manipulating the internet, and he lost the control. So now he's trying to report everybody he can report that's talking about it. He lost the control. At one point, Bull had a different type of control and manipulation on this internet. We done came in the building and messed that shit up for him. And that's a fact. He know it. You know? That's why he'll say them other niggas' names. He'll say all them other niggas' names. Nigga ain't, what? Yeah, he light. He might say SBGB TV if we can't speak. If we can speak, oh, that nigga don't want to say nothing, nigga. You can't go back and forth with me because you gonna lie. I'm gonna break down the facts. Shit gonna hit different. I'm gonna break down the facts with the receipts. You gonna make some shit up, try to make it sound a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And we working on something real strong this month. You know, your boy DZ working on something, man. All the people that rock with me, man, we hoping this shit go through for your boy. This for your boy. This something DZ working on for DZ. You know what I'm saying? I can't say nothing about it right now. You know, I can't say nothing about it. Something for me, you know, something that I've been working on. And I'm just, you know, hoping this shit go through for me. And it should. You know what I'm saying? It's something, you know, a nigga been working on. You know, I come from the muck. And, you know, I'm locked in on this shit. You know what I mean? I come from the streets. I ain't never going back to the streets. I don't care nothing about no street shit. You know what I mean? I know every detail about the streets. Can't nobody, Wack100, no nigga tell me nothing about no fucking street shit. Nothing at all. From the hustler side, the robber side, whatever side there is, you can't tell me nothing about no street shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And this is a fact. You know what I mean? And I'm proud. You know, I come here and talk to y'all and shit on some real shit. I'm proud to have that, you know, that motivation and that shit to say, nigga, I ain't fucking with no street shit. You know, this is why I come on here like this and go hard. When I was out there and shit, I would go hard. The same exact way y'all see me go hard right like this, it's how I go hard. This how I go hard. This is why niggas can't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? When it come to getting at it, you can't fuck with me, niggas. I got the same motherfucking method, nigga. Go hard when niggas ain't going hard. And I'm going overdrive, nigga. Yeah. So I smell this shit, though. I appreciate y'all that be rocking with the channel, man. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button, man. And we grinded non-stop. They ain't fucking with us, man. You know what I mean? It's gonna come. We gonna get there. Trust me. We weather all storms. That's a fact, man. Shout out to all y'all, man. Let's see what Carlissa is talking about. You know what I'm saying? We'll get back to Carlissa. We going in, you know what I'm saying, on some real shit. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all, I like doing this shit. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I like doing this shit. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? My grandma said, yo, that's your niche. I like doing this shit. I ain't even gonna hold you. That's a fact. I like doing this shit. It's something I like doing. So I'm grinding doing something that I like doing. So it's a job, but then it don't feel like a job because I like doing this shit. And I think that's honestly important in life. You know, I really think that's important. It's so important to do something that you like doing. Because when you do a job that you don't like doing, you dread doing this shit. You do something that you like doing it, and you can eat on the motherfucker. So this is something I like doing. You know? I can be real. I can be myself. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. I ain't gotta get on here and lie. I could talk about shit and be real. I ain't gotta get on here and lie. It's niggas that do that shit. That's just not my style. I really live the life that I live. So I ain't gotta, you know, and I wasn't that type of nigga. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't that type of nigga that be like lying to people to get cool with people and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people in life like that. I wasn't like that. I was always on my own mission. If I did business, nigga, it was business, and you go ahead and get the fuck away from me, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I don't need to be all around and shit like that. If I'm going to link up somewhere, I meet at the club, I meet you at the club. We not riding to the club all in my car. Nigga, I'm going to pull up in my shit, you pull up in your shit. We in the parking lot for a second. We in the parking lot. You know, we go in there, you want to hang around the car so, you know, the biddies can see you. All right, cool. But all in my car and shit, like, it's just, man. I like this shit. I ain't even gonna lie. So, I know Wack hate that shit. You know, he didn't know I was this type of nigga, but I did tell him. You know, y'all heard the audio. I did tell him. I told the nigga. I told him. I said, yo, my man. I go hard. That nigga said, everybody say that. Nigga, I go hard, nigga. You know, I go hard. Yeah, I go hard. And I see what You know, the people that really go hard, I see how it went for them. I'm watching. I'm like, okay, yeah. I think, you know, a nigga was made for this shit. You know, it's niggas that's made for YouTube. I was made for this shit. This shit gonna open the door. This shit gonna open the door. This shit gonna open the door. I already know. I can smell this shit. And I ain't coming on no snake shit. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't rushed to get next to nobody. It's just gonna open the door for me to do business. You know what I mean? And I ain't rushing. You know, some niggas be rushing to do shit. You know what I mean? Somebody, I ain't rushing. You know, a nigga can't just say, you know, I'll listen to you. You know, if it's, I'm thinking about on the street. You know, if some shit sound too good to be true, I'm gonna wait on it. If it's gonna be there, it's gonna be there. I ain't rushing. You know, a nigga come through talking about he got to work dirt cheap. That nigga the police. I don't care if it was real or not. I don't care if a nigga say, yo, that nigga was good peoples. That nigga sound too good to be true, nigga. I don't need it. I keep doing what I've been doing. You know, that's just my style. You know, and I like to tell y'all about myself as well. You know what I mean? So that people can get, you know, to know me as me. You know what I'm saying? And like I tell people, I got issues too. You know what I'm saying? This shit like therapy for me too. I got issues too now. You know, this shit like therapy and, you know, keep me, you know, out the way and all that. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Yeah. And I ain't enjoyed my house this much ever. It's the most, I've been in my house for 12 years. It's the most I enjoyed my house since I bought this motherfucker. Yeah, being in here, since I've been on YouTube, most I enjoyed this motherfucker. Yeah. Facts. I've been in this motherfucker 12 years. Just keeping it a buck. You know, been in there 13 now. We going on 13. I said, y'all know my birthday in 2 weeks. Y'all know my birthday in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? My birthday in 2 weeks. I bought this house when I was 29 years old. Straight up. Yeah. 29. Facts. You hear me? After I had already been to the settlement table a few times. You know what I mean? Just keeping it a buck. Yeah. Straight hustling. Yeah, so that shit that Wack be talking to niggas, he can't talk that shit to me. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk that shit to me. You know, you want to talk, the rooms and relationships. Then nobody give a fuck about the relationships you got, but the people that you want to manipulate, nigga. It's plenty of people that got relationships with all kinds of people in the world. It's a lot of millionaires in the world. It's a lot of people in position in the world. It ain't just the only people that Wack know. And that's the mental shit that he be playing with the niggas on Clubhouse. He make it seem like the only people that are in position in life are the people he know. There's a lot of people in position in life that don't deal with Wack. Straight up. Because they see the character. Not everybody is willing to deal with that type of personality. You know? But he'll make it seem like he know everybody that's end all be all, and if you don't deal with the people he deal with, that you won't never get this and you won't. Nigga, I don't give a fuck about your relationships. I don't want the relationships that you got at all. Nigga, I don't want none of them. I'm gonna establish my own relationships with the people that's solid with business. I don't want nobody dealing with Wack. If you got business with Wack, I don't want nothing to do with you, nigga. Straight up. I don't even want that energy because you all right with dealing with a snake. It's somebody else that's doing business that ain't all right dealing with the snake. So don't ever look up to no nigga like Wicked100, man.